Puffy ever been in a coma? Has anything happened to him? He must be the luckiest motherfucker, because it seems like everybody that worked at Uptown Records from the very beginning, gone. Just him. You want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma.
Yep. I done watched it. I gave in. Well, I wasn't holding out to begin with. I was up on the T just like everybody else. But yeah, I watched the Puffy doc. You know, I felt first before I go in, you know, Puffy's rich, he's successful, and he has a lot of proclivities. Okay, great. I think the only reason this is so shocking and so tea-worthy is simply because he's a celebrity, and he's been a celebrity in the spotlight, in the forefront of the spotlight, for the past 30 years. You know what I mean? When you've had so much showmanship and celebrity surrounding you, and so many trails of rumors and bodies behind you, yeah, it's no wonder you're in the position you're in now. It's no wonder you've climbed the heights that you've climbed, only to fall as low as you've fallen. However, but let's not get this twisted. There's rich and successful men who are not famous who are probably worse than Puffy. There's broke men, in the ghettos all across the world who are just as bad, if not worse, than Puffy. But you know, we shed the spotlight on it because it's easy. He's low hanging fruit, you know. And so, yeah, it's cool, it's cute, but there's still a bigger picture at hand. And it's easy to be the face of something. It's easy for him to be the face of what a narcissistic, power-hungry, control freak, successful billionaire looks like. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for him to be his face because he's been in the spotlight and he's been the face and the celebrity for the past 30 years. So I'm not going to revel and relish in his downfall for that sake, because I know that there are people out there worse than him. I'm also not going to revel and relish in the downfall of another black man, being as that I'm a black man myself. You know what I mean? I don't think a white man should revel and relish in the fall of a white man, being that he's a white man himself. You know what I'm saying? I think with the historical context of black people in America, the last thing we ought to do is tear down another black man, whether he's wrong or right. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do want to establish those two things. Now, before I go into talking about the doc, I will say there are two people, there are a few people missing who I think were very, I wouldn't say integral, but were very popular or maybe in the early days, in the beginning, you know, people who are interesting figures in the Diddy story, in the Diddy trajectory. In no particular order, Bentley Farnsworth. Where was Bentley? There was a time where you almost could not talk about Diddy without talking about Bentley. Like, his personality, his swag was so on 10. To the point where he kind of branched off of Diddy and was able to get a whole entire reality TV series for himself, which was pretty good. He was teaching thugs etiquette, you know, like that. Like, who does that? And I think a concept like that wouldn't even survive today. Everybody's so, like, everything has gotten so salacious and so drama hungry. A concept like that wouldn't survive in today's television, or let alone today's internet. You know what I mean? But I thought that was pretty dope as a side note. But where was Bentley's story in this? I think for some of these people to be mentioned or to get into their backstories, it was only 4 episodes long. I think if we get into their backstories, we need a lot more episodes, or just a couple more, a little more time, because I think they were very popular or intricate to his success. You know. So where was Bentley Farnsworth? They lightly touched on Mary J. They lightly dibbled and dabbled on Mary J. You know, Jodeci as well. You know what I mean? But yeah. You know what I mean? They just tiptoed on Mary J. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know, she brought the hip hop vibe with the R&B. Cool. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole documentary itself. That whole relationship that they had back then was a documentary in and of itself. And I feel like the only reason Mary's not talking is because if Mary talks, you know, you got to remember there was no social media back then, and people lived very dark lifestyles before they got into show business and never talked about it. And it was like I didn't know, like, Nelly used to sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? Nelly was a hit 90s and 2000s rapper. You know what I'm saying? Pop artist almost. He reached pop status and he used to sell drugs. He used to be in the streets like that. You know what I'm saying? No clue. Drez from Black Sheep. You know what I'm saying? He was a stick-up kid. No clue. You know, so yeah, Mary, I've heard about Mary. Yeah. You know, and you got to think, a young black girl in the projects, no father figure. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, she had a life before she got into show business. So, you know, and then you know, she's from Yonkers. Yonkers is not too far from Westchester. Well, I think Yonkers I don't know. It's the Bronx, then Yonkers, and then Westchester, or the Bronx, then Westchester, and then Yonkers. I'm not too sure. I used to commute there for work a long time ago, but yeah, Mary was probably pretty well known in that area, and then Puffy having roots in Mount Vernon. You know what I mean? Mount Vernon is kind of like an offshoot of Westchester. That whole area. I'm pretty sure the word got out and she got connected to him, or he knew about her to some degree. Like we don't know. But where was Mary? Where was Mary in the documentary? Mary's gonna take everything to her grave because she don't want to incriminate herself. Or if she tells on Puff, she's gonna incriminate either herself or other people. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother, a deeper, darker secret. Wolf. They showed pictures of Wolf. It's funny when they showed the pictures of certain people, like pictures of Zip. Zip was supposed to be like this Harlem kingpin or whatever. When they showed certain pictures with Wolf in it, they never blurred out his face. They blurred out everybody else's face except for Wolf. So I guess they were hinting at him, but they didn't mention him not one bit. You know what I mean? Puffy, there was always, I love the music. The music just crowded out everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I love the music. Anything Bad Boy did in the 90s, like you had to stop what you were doing to listen. Whenever a new Bad Boy song came out, a new Bad Boy artist came out, you always had to stop what you were doing to listen. You had to be there to understand. You know what I'm saying? Like Bad Boy had the 90s in a chokehold. You know what I mean? And so, the music drowned out the mystery. You know what I mean? Because there was always a question mark, there was always a question mark when it came to things about Diddy. Like, okay, Diddy had a son. You know what I'm saying? Like, and supposedly that was supposed to be his son with Misa. You know what I mean? The girl he was pouring champagne on her feet. I like that shit. I want to try that shit. He supposedly had a kid with her. That's supposed to be his baby mama. And for years and years and years, it was always thought that, oh yeah, that was Puff's baby mama before Kim. It was Misa. That's Justin's mother. Okay, I see the resemblance between her and Justin, but I don't see the resemblance between him and Puff. I've been said this before. You know what I mean? But then ergo Wolf.
Do that freaky jam on the beat. Busy with that butter shit, that bone beat. Did you double kiss that song sing. Flicky with some butter, so that don't sing. If you cheeky cheddar check, I get her own cheese. It's a chicken with that head or get some bitch that won't be with the official with that whole steez. Bloody see each other, wish that with that long.
I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. You a badass bitch. It don't get swallowed in that fat ass bitch. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do.